Good morning, everybody. The main ingredient in art is contrast. Unfortunately for me, the greatest of all the liberal arts is music. Now, as opposed to science, in science, when asked what 2 plus 2 make, to give the answer 4 is 100% the right answer. Anything else is 100% incorrect. But when it comes to art, and particularly my specialist field of music, that isn't the case. In an accordion competition a few years ago, I was awarded 99.5%, half a mark short of 100. I was not disappointed. No performance is perfect. No adjudicator is perfect. No one knows what perfection in music is. And this is something that I impress upon all of my students. Do not be disappointed if you do not get 100% for each of the pieces that you play in an exam, even if you've played them as best as you possibly can. Now, in the exams, the examiner writes comments, usually 4 lines on each piece. The examiner is under certain time constraints and therefore has to write quickly and more or less on the spur of the moment. They tend to focus on certain aspects of the performance. But it's interesting that sometimes a candidate who gets a low mark will get what looks like to be very nice comments, and vice versa. Sometimes somebody will get a high mark, a very high mark, but there will be some suggestions as to how the performance could have been improved, such as some more articulation, some more dynamic contrast, some more graduation of tone, in other words, crescendos and diminuendos, and more graduation of tempo, accelerandos, rallentandos, rubato, etc. And these all contribute, of course, to the general character of the tune. It's the character of the tune conveyed to the examiner, and therefore what was the presentation of the tune like. So I wanted to make it clear that having been doing these videos for quite some time, there have been moments when I have questioned some of the lawyers in this case. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that in questioning, particularly as we have the benefit of hindsight to look at the lawyers that have represented Steve and Brendan, Steve Glynn's and Walt Kelly's, obviously Dean Strang and Jerry Buting, Steve Drizzen, Laura Nyrider, even Kathleen Zellner. Hell, I would even go so far as to say that maybe, don't shoot me down in flames for this, but maybe even Len Kaczynski, realising the sort of power that the state could wield against his client, tried his best to get the best outcome for Brendan. It's pretty despicable because, of course, of the detrimental effect it had on Stephen's case. But it's interesting, Len Kaczynski never shirks the opportunity of an interview and is the only one that does appear in Series 2. Maybe, had it not been Len Kaczynski, it would have been some other public defender that would have done exactly what Len Kaczynski did, albeit with the help of that ridiculous Mike O'Kelly, the snivelling, grovelling Michael O'Kelly. So as I say, some of the times that I've questioned what the lawyers are doing are purely that. Do I think that they all did the best they could? I think so. I'm certainly reading through the deposition given by Mark Rohrer at the moment. It's one of the ones that's available on the Andy Coulban versus Netflix exhibits that have been presented, not the one from the GoFundMe for all of the depositions. But certainly Walt Kelly is doing a pretty good job of trying to make it clear to Manitowoc County District Attorney Mark Rohrer that he was onto him and knew exactly the way that he was trying to cover up the appalling mess that Manitowoc had got themselves in. So anyway, I'll be reading some more of that, let you know some of my thoughts further on down the line. But as I say, I just wanted to say that, basically, sometimes it seems as if somebody's maybe being critical of somebody. They're not. It's just asking that question. Do we think Strang, Buting, Drizin, Nyrider, Glynn and Kelly did a good job? Tried their best? I don't doubt it. With benefit of hindsight, we might even find that there were, we know that, for example, Kathleen Zellner was duped by Tom Fallon, told to delay writing to Judge Angie, and that little window of opportunity was exploited by the state, wasn't it? To pull the rug from the proposed evidentiary hearing, and here we are later on, still trying to get that evidentiary hearing, and they are doing all they can to obstruct the inevitable. As I say, if at times it seems as if I've been critical of the lawyers for Stephen Brendan, it's really just as being an examiner. I've been an examiner for various examination boards. Sometimes you give them a very high mark, but you suggest certain things that could be done in the performance. Likewise, there's other times when you might give them very nice comments, but in actual fact, you realise they were trying reasonably hard in the exam, but they weren't just, their performance wasn't just up to scratch, so they get a low mark. I would say the former. I think we give them all a very, very high mark. Were there things that they could have done differently? As I say, with the benefit of hindsight, I'm sure there are things that could have been done differently had they known how devious as I say, when it comes to the power that the state can wield, when it comes to their deviousness and the power they can wield, yes, maybe things could have been done differently. However, as I say, I will do some research, extend into looking at the, as I say, particularly Mark Rohrer and Michael Griesbach, look at their depositions, see what they've got to say for themselves. So that's about it for today. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you again soon. Bye for now.